On this, had a busy day. Mona, it's been a long time since I looked at Mona. I think Coinbase released, I'm not sure if this is the oldest chart or not, but it's got the classic Coinbase pump and dump, basically. Now, I usually do say that when you get this situation, it can be very good to wait until below the listing price, and that is a better area to be buying into it, or starting to down cost average from that area. So we are into that area right now, so it is definitely a more interesting spot to be buying. However, this is, now I don't know how real this wick is here at this point. I need to double check that. It is only down 85%, right? That is not massively down at this point. It does look like this was a real wick right in here. It looks like a real wick. So down 85%. It's not hugely down. I would prefer to see it down more. Now, don't get me wrong, there could be an element of relative strength coming into this. What I will say though is this is down, and we also have no breakout in volume. Down. It would be good to see a volume spike somewhere here. All right, that is something that you would like to see to break out, to maybe give a chance of a change in trend. There's no evidence here whatsoever of this being a change in trend yet. The thing is, yes, there is the deviation here. There is that deviation, but there's nothing conclusive really to signify that deviation is going to hold. It is a decent point to accumulate if you are going long term on this. Like if, say, for example, I don't know, you had $10,000 to accumulate this, for example, or whatever. You could put $3,000 here or $2,000 here, and if it goes down, then you can build upon that as it goes down. That is one way to do it. If you're really determined to be, you want in this coin, and you want some sort of a position at this point below that first low here, it is not a bad place. However, I don't really think that this is the low yet. This to me does not give any hard evidence that the bottom might be in. There's a few things. This is only 6 months apart, right? The time element of here, not that is, sometimes that could hold, but in the crypto market, from watching charts, I would probably like to see more than a 6 months gap there. That's one factor. The second factor is there's no increase in volume yet. It's only 85% down, was it? I forget now what exactly it was. 85 to 89% down, meaning it probably could go down lower. There's no red 200 moving average on the chart yet, but that is not important, because sometimes coins bottom out before the red 200. I'm just saying that the white 100 is just forming on the chart here as well. It's a new coin, meaning it may need to develop more first. So that's my initial thoughts on it. Let's just continue to look through some time frames here to see if we can find anything of interest. There is an element here that you could trade this. It's a shame this didn't come down to take liquidity. I would rather see this wick filled a bit here. See here? I would prefer to see that wick filled. It's flipping green now, unfortunately. If this had come down lower, I would suggest that is a buy for a short-term bounce. For like if that came down in there, that could then bounce and maybe come up here, before going lower, and then there's a possibility of a 3-drive structure or something there. It is possible to see that 3-drive structure later, and the real buy then might be down here somewhere, wherever the 3-drive structure ends up hitting. What about this 3-drive structure? Nah, not really. I don't think so. I think this is a better 3-drive structure, because this is the bottom, right? That's the top bounce. This is a different 3-drive structure. So personally, I think the bottom has more chance of playing out in the 3-drive structure. I think there's an element here that this is in the early development stage, that there may be some sort of a wedge forming here, wherever you want to draw that. It's a bit early to tell where exactly we draw that, but there seems to be some sort of a wedge structure forming bounces here, and that might even, it might even come down to here. Maybe I'm drawing that wrong yet, but we don't have many data points. There is a data point right there actually. See those two pivots right here? There is something there, but I kind of get the feeling that there is some sort of that type of pattern forming, which might mean that there still can be lower prices, and might mean that there's also more sort of chop to the downside, or if it's not chopped to the downside, this could be forming a bit of a base. Okay, as I said though, there's a possibility of a trade here, like here. See this bounce here? I don't think it's going to bounce that high. I'm only saying that because obviously it is down significant. There is a deviation here. Even though I don't really like it, I would like this to drop more and fill that. But you can see here, this didn't come the full way down. It didn't even, it came down to 38% retrace roughly. It didn't come down to the 50% retrace. This didn't get down far at all. So there is an element here that short term this can be bullish. Now even short term, that could be a green 3 month candle. Like you can see here, large red candle, green candle, large red candle, green candle, large red candle. Are we in the process of forming a green candle like it's done in the past? And I would suggest that a target for here would be the previous pivot, somewhere there. That at least as a first target. We didn't hit that yet. If I go in here and check the daily, well, that's not a good target at all. To be fair, that's the first target. 23rd of June. No, okay. But they are legitimate targets in a real bear market before it goes lower sometimes. In this case, there's a real possibility it can go higher then. Maybe back into the neckline. I'm probably too conservative on that. I didn't realize it's so small. But see this neckline in here, there's more of a real possibility that this could bounce up into here. But that can be a bear market bounce, just like this is a bear market bounce, okay? I just don't see any evidence that the bottom is in yet. Pep, getting a couple of alerts here. Market must be moving a bit. So if we go back to the daily here on that, and we can kind of see where that white line is. Yeah, that looks like a better line. That looks like a better, I would even possibly drop that to be more conservative into there, because the red 200 moving average is dropping here as well. So I don't think the bottom is in on this, but there is that element of the short-term trade. I don't really like this action. It's terrible action. Look at this, how choppy this is. The candles are not even forming properly. Very bad volume, probably very bad liquidity, very choppy, very wicky. But if you're not trading it, that's okay. It doesn't really matter. Like here, I think something similar is happening. You can see here, you put in low, it does attempt to bounce and comes back for a double bottom, and then it moves. This is probably going to do something similar, before you get the real move back up to this level here. So definitely something to consider. That would also fill out what I was talking about, these sort of patterns here, whatever way this is forming, some sort of a wedge forming here. That looks a bit better there actually. You can see this sort of wedge forming and dropping down into the bottom end here. So you can kind of think that touches along the bottom here may be good buys. God, there must be something happening in the market. Buys. Bitcoin might have dropped here. So it looks like Bitcoin here has flipped red on a 2-week chart. The alerts are still coming through here. Yeah, Bitcoin flipping red here. Yeah, Bitcoin dropping, a lot of coins flipping red here. Yeah, so I would prefer this pattern to develop, to form and trying to work its way down and chop down into this apex type pattern. Before buying, I still think I would prefer to be buying below here eventually. But I think in the near term there is the possibility of this type of move before going lower again. Quite often, last thing I'll say here is buys below these giant structures can often be good. They can be a kind of a sign of a breakdown, which is a fake out, and then you come back up and break up and move into the real direction. So I don't really like it for accumulation here, unless you may know more than me about the project that it may be fantastic. For me, I would be cautious here and not be putting too much in. I definitely would be being on the safe side and be willing to put more in later if you bought here by small. You know, maybe 2,000 here, be willing to be willing to add the other 8,000 lower if you know what I mean. There's no clear indication yet about having a bottom here.